So this is episode 11 of the Winners Effect podcast, and we're here with Dontavius Hill. So you want to start it off, Ben?
Sure. Well, I think first question is like, give us your background. Like where'd you come from? What made you get into high jumping and where you're at now?
Oh yeah, what's up, guys? So my name is Dontavius Hill. I first started high jumping as a freshman in high school. And the reason why I wanted to get into it was because I had an older brother who was a high jumper when I was in eighth grade, and he went to state his freshman year because he was 1 year older than me. So he ended up jumping 6'4", so I'm at the state championship,
Wow.
and I decided when I got to school or high school I was going to do it too. So I went to high school and I did it, and I wasn't very good at first. Jumped for it as a freshman, 5'10" as a sophomore, 6'3" as a junior, and then went 7 feet as a senior.
Wow.
And that was how I got my start, guys. So yeah.
Awesome.
I can
I guess my next question would be, how did you make that big jump up to 7 feet on your senior year?
Well, a lot of it was technical. A whole lot of it was confidence. So I really struggled with my confidence a lot when I was younger, and I didn't really think I was going to be able to achieve. But when I was a senior in high school, I kind of felt like that was my last opportunity to try and do something good in sports, because I played football and basketball also, and those seasons didn't go so well. So I had like an extra fire kind of burning under me to do well in track since it was my last chance. So yeah, I really credit my that what 9 inch jump to really confidence, technique, and yeah, just got a little bit older, a little bit stronger.
It's
dang.
awesome.
Yeah. So
Okay, so just for like reference, what are like how tall are you and then like just in general? Because I'm curious from your high
yeah.
jumping career.
Yeah, so when I was in high school, I was around 6'2", maybe 150, 155. Now I'm 6'2", 6'2" and a half, like 170. So yeah.
And then are you still jumping right now?
Yeah, so I still jump. Right now, my personal best is 7'5". Competed last season indoors, jumped 7'3" and a quarter. But yeah, my goal is to go to the Olympics in 2028.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I still jump, but I pretty much kind of compete when I want to or when I feel like it's best. That's kind of how pro track goes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what I thought. What do you think of like post college track? And there's a bunch going on in it right now.
I guess what do I think of it? I would say pro college, professional track is like a step down from collegiate track when we're talking about support, right? Collegiate track and field is a more supported structure. You have teammates, you have coaches, you have facilities, you have all these things. But as a professional, you don't really have those things unless you stay at the college that you graduated from, right? So pro track is kind of, what's the word? Like a lost art in a sense, or kind of some people kind of call it like an amateur sport in a sense.
Hmm.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. So you're not staying at, you went to Auburn, right, to jump, is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
And so where are you located now? You don't like work with them or anything, coach there. It's just all on your own coaching net right now.
Yep. So I pretty much do my own coaching. I write my own things, but basically, I went to Auburn from 2018 to 2023. I graduated in 2023, and that's when I decided to move to Georgia. So I moved to the Georgia area, and I trained out here on my own. Um, so yeah, I pretty much trained myself this past season. So Olympic season, I trained myself. 2025, I trained under Coach Pat Powell, who was the Olympic silver medalist coach for Shelby McEwen, who got silver in Olympics last year or 2024. And yeah, now I'm back to training myself, and yeah, it's going good.
That's
Dang.
awesome. What made you choose Auburn? I'm not sure exactly where you went to high school either. If you could add
I
that
think it
in.
was in Alabama, right?
Yeah, so I went to high school in Alabama. I went to Baker High School. So, of course, being from Alabama, the top schools will be either the University of Alabama or Auburn University, top Division One SEC schools. So, I
Mhm.
actually grew up as an Alabama fan, and I wanted to go there, but as you guys know, I didn't get good until my senior year. So,
Yeah.
I wasn't able to be on the radar for recruitment as early as some people. But Auburn gave me an opportunity to go there. So that's why I chose Auburn because they gave me an opportunity. Alabama they weren't really interested
Yeah,
in me at the time.
I
that
see.
makes
That makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy then that. How did you deal with that? Like your senior season of track where you're like, dang, I'm about to like go D1 now. Because I mean, obviously you didn't really know that junior year.
Right. I would say I really, I really just, how did I deal with it? Ben, when you ask how do I deal with it, I guess what are you referring to?
I mean, like, what was your mental side like your senior season? Were you like really outreaching, trying to go to schools, or were you just like letting it flow and being like, oh, these schools now want me?
Yeah, when I was 18, I didn't know anything about college outreach or recruitment. So I'm just thinking I just need to jump as high as I need to when coaches will come to me. But that's not really how it works.
Yeah.
That's how I thought it works. You have to outreach to schools. So that's pretty much how it went for me.
Wow.
It's
That's so
awesome.
cool. That's kind of lucky then too.
Yeah,
It makes sense if
yeah.
you're jumping 7 feet in high school. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I would say mentally, I put a lot of pressure on myself to jump high just so that I could get an opportunity to go to college or a scholarship or something. Because I struggled with a lot of like self worth and wanted to feel like I was good enough at things. So I really just wanted to jump as high as I could and get as many offers as I could so that I could prove that I was somebody, not realizing that I was already somebody.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so relevant.
Yeah.
What did you study in college?
I did mechanical engineering.
Okay. You don't use
Sir.
that right now, dude, because don't you do a bunch of like coaching on the side for other
Yep.
athletes?
So
Ryan Buskey, right? Is that the high schooler kid?
which one? Ryan
Ryan
Buskey?
Buskey, right? Isn't he number one right now?
Yep, Ryan Buskey. He's number one in the nation. He's one of my athletes. I actually have another Ryan Janik. He's number four in the nation. He's a 7 footer. He's one of my athletes as
My
well.
goodness.
Yeah, I coach a lot of really talented, really great kids, guys and girls. But yeah, I graduated Auburn with a degree in mechanical engineering, and when I first graduated, I worked as an engineer just for a little bit, but then I gave it up to pursue pro track. That was Olympic year and everything.
Yeah.
And now I've been coaching ever since. I never went back into engineering, but I always have it to fall back on if I want to.
Yeah. So I guess my next question would be, is that kind of your plan is then to just keep coaching and have that be your primary source of income and then just obviously keep trying to become the best athlete you can be? Is that kind of your life
Yes.
plan right now?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. Right now, I just want to help as many athletes and families as I possibly can. If you guys have seen my social media, it's got over 100,000 followers,
Yeah.
but it's pretty much I've grown that platform by helping people or
Hmm.
trying to motivate and inspire and uplift children and saying, okay, you can do whatever you put your mind to, and having faith in God and things like that. So I've been able to turn that passion into coaching or into a business or things like that where I can help people and pretty much let that be my life. So that's kind of what I've done.
How did you like go about starting it, and when did you start then coaching?
So really, whenever during the Olympic year, when I decided to train myself in 2024, I was training at this high school track. And while I was out there, of course, the high school kids, they're going to have some kids who are interested in high jumping, especially if I'm just out there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I started. I just started high jumping or coaching high jump with some of the kids out there when you're referring to, I guess, in person. But even dating further back than that, I started coaching kids online through the DMs when I was like 19,
Oh,
because I had just got recruited and I had just went to Auburn, jumped 7-1, made Team USA, and kids started reaching out to me just trying to ask how to get better. And I really started coaching in 2019. So I've been coaching really for the last 7 years.
That's
dang.
awesome. And then obviously we've looked a lot at your social medias, love your content. I'd like to just talk more about kind of when you started your social medias and then you grew to 100,000 followers, like how long did that take? And was that growth kind of pretty, what's the word, Ben?
Linear.
Pretty linear, or was it more exponential growth?
Yeah, it was definitely exponential. So what happened was when I was a junior, basically, long story short, My best year of collegiate track and field happened in the year when I decided to grow my social media. And those things happened simultaneously. And I believe they would not have existed without each other. What I mean by that is the social media would not have grown if I wasn't having that great of a track season, and my track season wouldn't have went that well if I wasn't trying to grow my social media.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I had a goal in mind to, grow my followers and pretty much have a way to pretty much have a platform even when I graduated college, regardless of whether I did professional track and field. But of course, along the way, I was able to help millions of kids from the videos getting millions of views.
Yeah.
But I was able to go from like 3,000 to 10,000, I believe, in like 3 months. And then over the first 7 or 8 months, I went to like 60,000 to 70,000. Then over like a 2 year period, I had made it to like 140,000.
Wow.
Dang.
And kind of how consistent were you with your posting? And I guess were you posting a lot of reels, like weekly reels, or were you doing more actual posts, or kind of how did you set all that up for your social media?
Yeah, man. So I was doing a lot of reels. Pretty much, I was trying to post consistently. I had one point where I just posted 90 reels for 90 days straight,
Oh wow.
one reel a day, just trying to grow my account. And from that point, during track season, I even treated it like a story. I realized that every other sport, they made it like a big deal, whether it was football or basketball, for game days and things like that. So I started to treat my track meets like that, and I would post like a carousel of me traveling to a different state to compete, or SEC championships, posting up the start list. Like I made high jump or track and field into a movie. I
Mhm.
made it my own movie, which kind of brought an audience. Like if you guys have ever seen like a montage of videos, like high jump videos back to back, whenever the kids are like showing their progressions, that was something that I started in like 2021, 2022, right?
Mhm.
Because I wanted to make high jump like high jump highlights, and that I hadn't seen it done before. Of course, you can look on YouTube and see Olympians and stuff like that, but there had never been like high school or college kids just posting their high jump videos. They only post the make or the PR.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
posted the makes and the misses because the platform was about the wins and the losses. You know what I'm saying? So
For sure.
that was how I did it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You got anything
That's
good?
awesome.
That's actually really cool then posting the mix because I got to tell you a funny story. I was talking to one of my buddies yesterday and he was like, how's the podcast going? I was like, oh, pretty good. We're having Dontavius Hill on tomorrow. Like, I didn't think he would know. And he's like, no way, I follow that guy. He's a big high jumper himself. So I
Yeah,
just thought that
that's
was so
awesome.
cool. I mean, I love your videos too, especially seeing all the misses and everything and
Yeah.
tips.
For sure, man. And I did want to say, like, whenever I kind of see other people post their high jump progressions, um, it always kind of not saddens me, but I'm a little bit disappointed when I don't see them post the misses.
Hmm.
Like they'll probably post like XX0, but only post when they make it. Like I really, because they're using what I built, but they're still not fully immersing into it's okay to fail. And
Hmm.
that's really the message that, I try to convey with it.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I guess kind of another question about your like kind of content creation journey is, did you ever struggle with like embarrassment or anything from posting reels, and like in the beginning when you didn't have many followers and you were kind of posting every day, did you ever struggle with those kind of thoughts or anything, or?
Yeah, I did when I was first starting. When I first started, I was like, man, people don't want to see me post every day.
Hmm.
And I know people are unfollowing me and all those kind of things was going through my mind. But eventually I let go of it because I just started to think about the bigger picture. And the bigger picture was for me that um, these one, two, three, four, five people or whoever who's going to unfollow me, or thousands will eventually unfollow me because they don't want to see me post every day. But for every video I make, that's one kid that I could potentially help.
Hmm.
So I chose the path of the people I could potentially impact their lives versus the people who don't want anything to do with so much high jump or so much motivational, inspirational content.
Hmm.
So that's what I did. I just chose the people who were for me, even
That's
that I
awesome.
didn't know.
That's awesome.
That makes sense. Okay, I gotta backtrack. This is like random, but I remember you saying something about how you're like a believer in Christ, like earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
When did that happen? And like, can you expound on that?
Yeah, man, for sure. And so growing up, I mean, I've always, been a Christian or consider myself a Christian. I went to church and everything, but I didn't really understand, what it meant to, let's say, believe in God or believe in Jesus or be a believer. But when I got to college, I met one of my closest friends, James. He was a pole vaulter on Auburn's track team, and I just had a really deep conversation with him one day, kind of about like, you know, if, what does it mean to be a believer, or what does it mean, right? How can someone have or live a bad life and still go to heaven and get saved at the end of it and things like that? And one thing that he told me was that, oh, first I'll leave with this. I said, well, James, if someone can live this terrible life and do all these things and then get saved at the end and go to heaven, then why wouldn't I just go do whatever I wanted for 80 years and at 81 try and get saved and go to heaven?
Hmm.
And what he told me was, he was like, well, Dontavius, if you did that, then that would pretty much mean you decided that was the better way. You see, it's like it's deciding that the worldly way is better than, the way of God or Jesus's way,
Hmm.
right? And that really opened my mind, because it's like, okay, everybody has a choice or a decision, and I didn't really know at the time, what that meant. But I've truly learned now that it's more about, relationship with God and understanding that if you believe that Jesus died for our sins, that you will be saved and go to heaven. And it's not really about, who prays every single day or who goes to church the most or who's gotten baptized 15 times. And I've just gotten a new belief for it. And it started with that one friend helping me along the way.
That's so
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I always think like everyone's like, yeah, I can do whatever. I mean, I believe in Christ, but like if you really truly love Christ, then you're gonna do what he wants you to do, you know? You're gonna follow his ways.
Right. Yeah.
That's
No, I
values.
agree. I agree. And that's sometimes it can be tricky, because some people would say, well, how do I know what's right or what's wrong? And what I believe is that everybody has their own journey, and
Yeah.
everybody has to find their way or find that way to God or through the word or through the Bible or through prayer. It's going to be different for everybody. And so there's no correct way to do anything. So,
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
For
yeah.
sure.
What do you got there, Noah?
I guess we can just kind of switch back to athletics. So Ben is obviously, did you mention your rock climbing yet?
No.
Ben's really high level rock climber. What kind of advice do you have to like just athletes in general who are kind of at that age of like 16 to 17, and they're like right on the edge of they could go all in, they could maybe go professional in their sport, or they could go do it in college. Kind of, what's your advice to people who are kind of at that level?
Yeah. My advice would be to understand what makes you happy in the moment that you're in right now, right? And if there's something that you know that you enjoy, whether it's rock climbing, whether it's jujitsu, whether it's track, you need to try and go all in on that thing while you have it, right? Because
Hmm.
there's going to come a day when you may not have it, or you may not have it in the extent or the way that you enjoy it right now, right? So my advice would be to enjoy what you have, or live in the moment, or be where your feet are. Because when I'm talking to high jumpers or kids, to give you guys an example, they want to know, okay, what's it like to make it to college, or what's it like to be a professional? I wanted to get there. And the truth is, all these kids, like, you guys, you don't want to be a professional. You don't want to be. And the reason why I say that is because it takes the fun out of it, right? You're an adult now. You're no longer in college with friends and things, or And when you're in high school, like you're not in college yet, so it's a little bit less pressure. It's easier, right? It's There's levels to everything. So the best advice that I can give is to enjoy where you are right now in this moment. And if you love something, just try to take it as far as you can. And there's really no limit on how far you can take anything. So yeah.
That's
Wow,
awesome.
yeah, that's really good. I like what you said there, like being a professional isn't sweet. Like I think a lot of track is fun to hang out with friends and it's different and hard probably being I mean you have to train by yourself a lot, right? If you're that good.
Yep, every day. If I want to get better, I have to go by myself and train. No teammates, no coaches. And I know that may sound like crazy or rare but this is just that's the reality of a lot of professionals. A lot of them. Even some of them who win Olympic medals train alone. It's so lonely. And that's probably the most difficult part. Like college, like I didn't take college track and field for granted. I enjoyed every aspect of it. My teammates, it was awesome. And honestly, I wish like I would rather just be in that. like,
For sure.
but it's only right. You have to grow. You have to get older. I had to graduate, right? I got medals. I got SEC medals or NCAA medals. I had a great career, but now I'm on to the next step, and that's when people make decisions on if it's worth it or not. Do they love it enough to where they're willing to move states to go train with the coach, or are you willing to stay at your college and compete with your team or be second hand to the collegiates because you're non-professional? You're a practice body to let people chase or something like that. But that's the politics side of it, guys. I don't want to get too
Mhm.
far into that, but yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, I saw this on your Instagram. I mean, it's similar. It's also about mental blocks, which I know is huge in pole vault as well as high jump and a bunch of other sports too. How do you overcome that?
Yeah. So self-belief is important. I truly do believe that, you'll only be as good as you believe you are. It's like it's like some people just don't know how great they are.
Mhm.
Like I feel like nobody will ever truly know the extent of their greatness because some people's mind, or let's say some people's mind doesn't let them go so far.
Yeah,
And the reason being is because maybe their environment, the people that they're around, or what they've been told could be done, right? If I was to try and tell someone when I was in ninth grade jumping 4.8 that I'm going to jump 7.5 someday and I'm going to make three Team USA's and be two-time Team USA cap, they would have looked at me like I was crazy,
For sure.
and they would have shut my dreams down. And I would have been so sad, and I would have never did anything. But I was able to kind of look into myself and understand what I wanted, and in that moment, or I would say while growing, all I wanted to do was be the best version of myself. Um, but the question you asked was how to overcome mental blocks.
yeah,
Well, I feel like the truth of that is to understand where mental blocks come from. Most times, a lot of mental blocks come from wanting to please others, external.
okay.
So if we can release that pain of disappointing parents, teammates, coaches, or release from all of those different things, then we can look into ourselves and see, okay, what do I want? Do I really want to jump this bar that bad? Do I really want to, win this tournament that bad? Or do I want to just have fun out here? Do I want to just enjoy what I'm in? And when you start to think that way, the mental block side of things just disappear.
Mhm.
Because to tell you guys something, your success is not based off of whether you win or loss. It's more about the journey of what you're doing. And that's the true way to overcome a mental block.
That's actually so good. I'm
Makes a
gonna
lot of sense.
probably like write that down so I can remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I guess another question I have is you went to you seem like a very disciplined and focused guy, and then a lot of athletes similar to you, I'm sure you see it all the time, they kind of get kind of too focused on partying, too focused on girls, whatever it may be. Did you kind of fall into any of that, or how did you avoid that, or kind of what was that like for you?
Yeah. So I wasn't really a party guy or anything like that. I mean, have I gone to a party in college? Yes. I've been to parties before. But I was never, well, let me give you guys an example. So, whenever you guys go to a party or something in college or an event, you're going to kind of realize what the environment is. And for me, when I realized what the environment is, whether it was people partying, dancing, or whatever they were doing, I realized that when I went the second time, that it was a loop. It was like living life in a loop of really despair. And honestly, it was sad because in my mind, I was like, if I come here every Saturday, I know that I'm going to see you here. Every Saturday, I'm going to see the same person and this person and this person. You're going to see like the same 100 people because that's what they live their life as. And I
Hmm.
made a decision that I don't want to be that. I don't
Hmm.
want to be here with you every day. Okay, we're both going to get our degree at the end of the day, but it's going to look a whole lot different. The things
Hmm.
that I'm doing in my 24 hours are going to look a whole lot more different. So I never really fell too deep into that. Um, but that was the reason why I wanted to be different.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
it's cool. That makes sense. I like the loop thing. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that's so true that there's just people that you'll see doing the exact same thing, not really making any progression.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that'd be
guys.
rough.
For
I
sure.
remember it's a good question, but now I forgot it. I'll remember it quick. Do you got anything good?
Yeah, I got a couple things.
Oh, what was it?
If we could just go back in your timeline a little bit, was it kind of that senior year where you started really focusing, or was it before that where you were really focused on your craft, but you just hadn't quite seen that success yet? Or was it that senior year where you really started to focus on your craft?
I high jump wise, I would say really sophomore, junior year. You got to understand also, high jump was my third sport. So
Mm,
first came football, then basketball, then track.
I see.
So it was my third sport for all 4 years. And but my true like my lock in happened senior year because that was all I had. It was the last of the Mohicans. It was the last thing I had. So I was looking up everything I could on YouTube. I was trying to do whatever I could in the backyard doing bounds. I just wanted it because I knew if I didn't get it for myself in that moment, I don't know. Like I'm sure I would have regretted it. Not just giving my best effort. You know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I remembered my question. So I don't know how much Noah is, but I'm super interested. Like, what actually is your training right now? I mean, you train yourself mostly, right?
Yep.
Give me like, I don't know, weekly. Like, what do you do to continue improving?
Yeah, so right now, guys, I'm primarily like straight up coaching right now.
Mm,
Like in all honesty, like my goal is honestly the 2028 Olympics, which is
Okay.
about 2 years out.
Yeah.
But I've mainly just been training my physique. Like I'm really into like fun fact about me, I'm really into like fitness, like bodybuilding content and things like that.
hmm.
And that stemmed from me being in college and us only doing like squats and power cleans and having like a high jumper body or something with a bird chest or like looking not
Yeah.
physique, like
Hmm.
so
Aesthetic.
aesthetic, that's the word, right? So I've been pretty much just doing aesthetic lifts. I like my favorite lift is incline dumbbell bench press,
Okay.
stuff like that, flies. That's what I'm into. But when I'm like in season training, power clean, squats, trying to do those kind of lifts 2 times a week, hitting the track, getting at least 1 to 2 jump days in a week, high jumping, working on my approach. So weights twice a week, plyometrics twice a week, high jump twice a week.
Do you think training, like, I mean, for aesthetics, obviously you're going to put on some extra weight. Is that going to affect at all, like, coming into 2028 Olympic season? You're going to have to cut down on upper body mass, do you think?
No, I don't think so. So reason why I say is because although my body has changed or I've been getting, aesthetically different, I weigh the same thing I did whenever I was jumping. It's just
Okay.
I'm more muscle now and there's less fat, right? So basically my body fat percentage went down and now I just look more cut. And if anything, I think being more confident in the way, that I may look aesthetically is going to help me more confidently while I'm jumping in
Yeah,
2028. But
that's
I'm
going to
going
be
to do
cool to
great.
see.
I guess my next question would be kind of Going into the 2028 Olympics, kind of how close do you think you are to where you need to be to make it through the trials and actually make the team? Do you think that like you're pretty much there right now? If the trials were in a couple months, you'd be ready, or how close do you think you are?
Oh, yeah. If the trials were in a couple months, there's no way I'm making a team.
No.
But so I guess let's refer back to last season. So 2024 at least, so 2 seasons ago, I was number 4 in the US, number 25 in the world. So
Yeah.
I was all I had to do was pretty much clear one bar and I would have made the Olympic team. But I no height at Olympic trials and I was devastated. It was basically the second time I had ever no heighted in my life. The first time was, oh, quick backtrack. I jumped 7.5 that season. Then I went to go jump 7.8 1/4 or attempt 7.8 1/4 to try and get the Olympic standard in the world record open in height. And after that competition, I decided I wasn't going to jump anymore. I was going to rest and get ready for Olympic trials. So I went to Olympic trials, and the opening height was 7 feet and 1/4. But I knew that if I jumped 7.2 1/4, I was going to make the Olympic trials final. So I skipped the height, which is nothing rare for me. I had just open height at 7.5 and 7.8. But on that day, I could not get off the ground. I think I had mentally put a lot of pressure on myself as though I had to make it or I would be nothing. And exactly what happened was I did not clear a single bar
Wow.
and I was devastated. But I'm grateful for that moment because it changed me. It made me understand what I really wanted because it was a very chaotic moment for me in my life, guys, because I had just graduated college and I had to make a decision whether I wanted to work as an engineer, whether I wanted to stay in Auburn and train under my new coaching staff, or whether I wanted to move and go train by myself. And I knew that it would affect my life greatly, which it did. Um, but I had a really great season. Guys, I was top 25 in the world, top 3 in the US, and I was one bar away from making the Olympic team.
Wow.
But I'm glad I didn't because my life is much more different than I think it would have been had I gotten consumed with being an Olympian and trying to be on the pro circuit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so like hypothetically, if you go back in time to a couple months before that comp and then leading up to that comp, what would you have like changed now knowing what you know?
Um, to be honest with you, first and foremost, I wouldn't change it. Like I'm saying, like I'm glad I didn't make it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, I know that sounds crazy, but the reason why I am is because, like I say, guys, pro track is not what it's cut out to be. If I had made that Olympic team, I would have most likely been trying to get contracts or try to chase contracts to get signed by Nike, Adidas, and things like that, trying to move states and things like that to try to find the right coach and move and just going like it would have been bad. And that kind of thing could last like 2 or 3 years trying to see what you're gonna do and all of that. But instead, I didn't make it and now I coach kids. I make content again to help people, and I do all these different things. And I've added so much, and I've gotten my degree, and I've chosen a different path in life. And guess what? I can still make the Olympic team,
Yeah, that's true.
but I wouldn't have had this. I don't believe I would have had what I have now, this mindset, if I had made that team then.
Yeah.
So,
You think it's a
but
little bit of like God's hand then in your life? Like, hey, you're not making the Olympics this year. You're going to coach for a while.
yeah, I definitely believe it was God. I mean, I had just jumped 7.5. I had just attempted 7.7. I was over 7.8 like a week and a half before. So in my mind, like when I'm going into this meet, I'm like, I'm definitely gonna be able to get 7.2. There's
Yeah.
no way, right? But I just couldn't get it. And I prayed
Mhm.
about it and I just said, God, if this is meant to be for me in this moment, then let it be. And it wasn't.
Mhm.
Wow.
And that's just something I had to accept. I cried about it. I was very disappointed because I feel like I had let people down,
Yeah.
right? That's more of that external, me thinking I'm letting people down, all of my followers, my supporters, everybody who wanted to see me make it. Um, and I felt like I had let myself down because I had worked so hard to get there, guys. You got to remember, like I had nothing. Like athletically, I was a nobody. Nobody looked at me. I had to really build everything from the bottom, and I felt like that moment was gonna be my moment, and it wasn't. And so that's something I've had to live with. But I'm so glad I get to try again. Like that's all it is, man. I get to try again in 2028 and 2032 if I want. And yeah,
Yeah. How old are you right now then? Like 25?
25.
Okay. Dang,
Yep.
gets it first try. Did the
Yep. It was my
math.
first try.
You guys,
But
on a little bit of a, sorry to interrupt you. Were you gonna say something there?
oh, I didn't ever answer Ben's question about like what would I do differently.
Oh yeah.
Like if I think I could have made like to make the team, I would have just opened height at the opening height of 7 feet.
Hmm.
That's the only thing I would do differently. To just come in at the lowest height. And that's what I'll do at the next Olympic trials too, because I learned that there's no reason to skip heights because you never know what everybody else is gonna do, right? You never know. And I realized I could have just made the team off of one bar and got last placed. Like I could have got last place at Olympic trials and made the team,
Hmm.
Wow.
but I didn't even jump a bar. So
That's cool.
there's no way I could make it, even if you're number one in the world, even if you have jumped 8 feet that year, if you don't clear a single bar, you cannot go to the Olympics.
Hmm.
Even if all the people in the field get injured, you cannot go to the Olympics. That was stuff I did not know, but now I know it.
It's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, my
Yeah.
coach, she'll tell me sometimes like you're opening lower, and I'm like, why? And she's like, it's just a big comp. You never know. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, but the thing is, Ben and Noah, I I could have opened lower, but I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
not that I didn't care about the competition. Like I respected the competition and all the guys I competed with. I didn't care what other people thought because I trained myself that entire season. I got myself to number three, number four in the U.S. I got myself to top 25 in the world. I coached myself. I
Hmm.
opened at the 7.5. I chose that. That was a pro competition, jumping against the best. Like I chose to open at 7.8 in Canada. I flew to Canada, open height at the world record opening height. I was making decisions that nobody would ever think to make. You know, getting messages from Olympic champions, world champions, asking me about my mindset, about why I would come in so high and do these crazy things that they've never even done. I was on a different timing, and I still am, which is why everything kind of how I move. Like I'm a trailblazer. I'm trying to be different. I'm trying to do things that haven't been done. So that was a double-edged sword and a risk that I took, and it didn't destroy me, and I'm still here, and that's the biggest thing.
That's so
It's
cool.
awesome. I was just gonna say, on a little bit of a different story. You seem very intelligent, very well spoken. Do you read much? Was my question.
Yeah, yeah, man. I actually just started reading a whole lot more because I was trying to improve different skills and
Hmm.
learn different things about mindset and things like that. But yeah, just recently started reading. I see you guys got a couple books in your hand. What's
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
Yeah.
what's up with that?
We always do it for each of the
yeah. We
podcasts.
do different books every podcast usually.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know. We're all just into reading random things.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
wait. So I gotta ask, what are your other interests then? Like outside of obviously lifting and high jumping, coaching.
yeah, for sure, man. Number one is definitely training, like my physique. Number two, I recently just got into like fragrances and colognes and things like that. It's like it's so many different things like that you can get into that'll be like a rabbit hole, and it's a
Yeah,
whole
for
community
sure.
about it. But for me, physique, fragrance, cars, most recently.
Okay.
I've been pretty much driving the same car since I was 16 and I'm 26
What do
that
you
I
drive
got
right
from for
now?
high school. So I'm gonna get a new car soon and things like that. But yeah,
What do you drive right now?
I drive a 2010 Honda Civic.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Sure.
What do you want to get? What's like the dream car?
Oh, I'm going to get 2020. Well, I don't really know what year yet, but it's gonna be a wide body Dodge Charger Scat
Okay.
Pack.
Nice, nice.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be
That's
such a
awesome.
cool car. Okay, wait. We should ask the music. So
Oh
we
yeah.
always ask what are, I guess, people that we have on, what music they listen to when they're training or anything.
Yeah. So I like I kind of change a little bit, but sometimes I'm really into Joji. Do you guys know who Joji
I
is?
know who Joji is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an alternative artist. He's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I used to listen to him a lot. On the rap side, like I listen to Rod Wave. He's one of my favorite artists. Um, and yeah, those are the main two I could think of. I'm really into R&B though. But yeah,
Nice.
That's cool.
And then do you usually listen to music when you train?
yeah, it's a non-negotiable. Like, but whenever we were in college, we couldn't listen to music. I know some schools may let you, but my school we didn't. We had to always kind of be alert to listen to reps and coaches. But when you're training by yourself as a professional, you need something. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, I guess some people don't, but I need to hear something going because I feel like I'm just in this sphere of nothing out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
sense. If I'm doing like big sets, I'll like switch off from a podcast to my music before I'm repping something. That's what
Yeah,
keeps me going half the time.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Noah has this crazy take on no music lifting. You
Oh
gotta tell
yeah.
me.
I'm kind of against music when you're listening because I feel like it's just kind of like a crutch. Like there's science behind how listening to specific types of music can help you lift more weight and push more weight or just improve performance in whatever field you're in. And then if you're listening to that when you're training, it's like I was a long distance runner my whole life. Like you wouldn't train in like carbon plated shoes. You'd train in normal shoes. So then when you put the carbon plated shoes on, it's like that much better and you feel quicker and springier. It's kind of the same thing with music where it's like a little bit of a crutch in training. That's just kind of my philosophy on it.
Like caffeine, not having a
Yeah,
caffeine
yeah,
drink
yeah.
every day.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Music, it can amp you up.
Hmm.
Like I've had some of my best competitions because of music. Like they
Hmm.
got music playing. They have a DJ at the track. They do it at
Hmm.
Clemson. Like I
That's
definitely
right.
agree with you. No,
That's so cool that they have a DJ.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
pretty sweet.
Now I want to go to like a track meet there just to see that.
yeah, Clemson. Yeah, they got it.
It's awesome.
I got to see more studies on that because, okay, the thing against your argument is I feel like music, it doesn't get like you're always going to have these great effects of listening to it
Right,
when you're lifting. So it doesn't matter how often
right.
you use it.
I see, I
You
see.
know,
Yeah.
I got to see some more studies on it.
But yeah, you got anything else, man?
Not really. Do you got anything good? We're at the bottom of our list.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to say that we haven't covered?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, I guess I'll tell you guys a story that I usually tell every athlete that I coach. But basically, guys, I want to tell you guys a defining moment in my life, similar to how not making that Olympic team. That was a defining moment in my life. Being having that breakout senior season, that was a defining moment in my life. I feel like another moment was my freshman year of college. I had just jumped 7-1. I had broke the indoor record at Auburn, and I was failing my classes, right? And I came out of high school with a solid GPA. I had like a 4.2 GPA. I made like a 23 on the ACT. But basically, I was failing my like chemistry class or physics class, and they told me that if I failed, I couldn't drop any more classes. So I was going to be ineligible to compete. And I had already failed the first two exams, so I was already like under the water in class. So I went to study hall that day, and I only had like 10 days to study for the final. And I opened up my books and I looked at them and I just broke down crying because in my heart, I knew there was no way I was about to pass the final exam when I had failed the last two tests. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
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 So I just broke down crying, man, because I just feel like everything I had worked for, whether it's being overlooked my entire career, never getting an opportunity from jumping 4.8, now I'm all the way up to 7-1, breaking records, and I'm about to be ineligible. And I might have got kicked out to school or off the team or something. I don't know what they would have thought of me when they had only known me for 4 months, you know? So, but long story short, well, not long story short, that day when I was breaking down crying in the study hall, my academic advisor, Troy Smith, walked in. He played in the NFL. He was a retired NFL vet. And he just walked up to me. He was like, DT, what's wrong? And I told him, I just said, I looked up at him. I said, I'm not going to make it. Like, I'm not going to make it. And like, I really felt like I wasn't. He told me, he said, DT, regardless of whatever happened in the past, whatever homework you didn't turn in, whatever exams you didn't fail, in this moment, I just want you to give it your best from this point forward. He just told me to give it my best. And if I give my best from here forward, then that is enough. He told me that my best was enough because he told me that my best isn't determined on whether I pass or fail this exam. Your best is determined based off of what you give in that moment, no matter what it is. So if my best, all it could have got me was a 2 on the exam, and that would have been it. I did everything I could.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to pass that exam by 1 point.
Awesome.
1 point. And it changed my life just from giving my best. I studied for 10 days straight. I gave it everything I had and I passed. And that was the start of everything that transpired. From that point, I became a 5-time All-American at Auburn, 4-time SEC medalist, 3-time Team USA high jumper. They voted me as captain of 2 of those Team USAs, even though I was like one of the youngest on the team. You guys know some of it of being top 25 in the world, top 3 in the US, or getting over 100 million like views on social media about the journey off of one thing, guys. One moment.
Mm-hmm.
One moment changed everything. So just to all the kids that I coach, I always tell them just give me your best, and that's all I can ever ask of you, and that's all I ask of you guys as well.
Awesome. That's beautiful, man. Thank you for
I
that.
couldn't have even imagined what it would be like then if you didn't get that.
Yeah.
You didn't give it your best on that.
Yeah, I gave it everything I had, and I thank God for it. You know, passing the exam by 1 point, I can't believe, I just would never say that was all me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would never say that. Never.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense, especially with what's come after too.
Yeah. I feel like everything happens for a reason, man. Everything. You know, there's no moment that doesn't matter. So just one thing I've been learning now, you know, being 25, like I'll be 30 in 5 years. You know, like,
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
unk now, as people would say, right? But it's like
Yeah.
I'll be 30 in 5 years, and in this moment, I just want to do everything that I can in the moment that I'm in.
Mhm.
And right now, I'm coaching. I want to give these kids the best seasons that they could possibly ever dream of, and keep posting more content to help as many kids as possible. So,
Wow.
Awesome. I just got one last question. So let's just look 10 years down the line. Kind of what's your goal 10 years from now, whether it's wife and kids, whether it's Olympics, whether it's scaling your coaching brand, kind of what do you want your life to look like in 10 years?
yeah, man, in 10 years, I want my life to look just like it looks now.
Awesome.
To be honest with you, like I'm living the dream. One thing I'll tell you is that like I surpassed anything that I ever thought I ever would have ever been over. I've surpassed it 1,000 times over, 10,000 times over.
Mhm.
I thought I wasn't gonna be anything, guys. I thought just if I didn't get tall, I was like 5'5" in ninth grade. I thought if I didn't get tall, my life was going to be trash. Like, and I finally grew, and I realized that even then, when I grew, my life did not get better.
Mhm.
You know, some of the things that people think matter or that's going to change everything do not change anything. It's not getting tall. It's not starting on a team. It's not $100 million. It's none of that. It's kind of, honestly, I believe is how you feel about yourself and how you treat others and how you live your life on day to day. No one can say whether it's right or wrong. It's just your journey. But it's like in 10 years, I want to be more of myself. I want to be more of who I am. Because I love what I do, and I love myself. And there were times where I didn't.
Mhm.
And I'm just glad I've been able to come and do what I've done. Glad to be able to speak to you guys.
For sure.
And yeah, in 10 years, definitely gonna have a wife and kids. I'm getting married in August,
Oh
this
wow.
August.
Congrats, man.
So
That's awesome. That's
I
big.
didn't know that. Wow.
yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
I
I want
can't
to
wait to
travel to
see.
more countries, of course, though.
I
But
can't
yeah.
wait to see little Hills jumping like super high by the time they're in middle school.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. I would also love for one of my athletes to make an Olympic team.
Oh nice. Yeah.
Whether it's 2028 or 2032 or 2036, most likely for one of the kids that I coach to make one.
Wow. I'm
That's
just
awesome.
imagining that picture. If someone makes it 2028 and you make it too, you're there as a coach to another athlete that's jumping with you. That'd be so cool.
Yes, pretty awesome to think about. I'm actually some of my athletes, they'll definitely be at the next Olympic trials. Some of them will be at this US trials for the men, like the older people's trials. So
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna go probably jump in a couple meets just to get my mark, just to go compete with my athletes.
Hmm.
Um, you
So
know, it's just a much different thought process than jumping and trying to, I gotta make the team and try and beat somebody. And
For
like,
sure.
I'm literally going to go jump just so I can jump beside the kids that I coach.
yeah.
And that's what it's all about, finding your
Yeah.
passion and your purpose.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay, I gotta ask. So I don't know if we'll have too many high jumpers watching, but where can people find you if they want coaching or anything?
Oh yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram at Dontavius Hill, on TikTok at Dontavius Hill 3, and on YouTube, of course, at Dontavius Hill. And yeah, guys, you can reach out to me on Instagram. Just shoot me a DM. I do respond to the DMs. And yeah, if you guys ever want to just talk about high jump mindset, or if you want to get coached, that's awesome as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, Dontavius, for coming on. It was great to speak with you.
All
Yeah.
right, thank you, Noah.